Hi, I'm with Erika Footman, professional singer, and we're going to talk about hearing protection and in-ear monitoring. Hi Erika, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, I am an artist. I record and write my own stuff and put it all out on my own label. I also do backing vocals for various people. I've toured with Mika for about 3 years. I'm touring with Skunk Anansi next year on an acoustic tour. And I also tour with a metal hip hop band called Censor as well.
Right.
Just come back from a European tour with them, and then I do my bread and butter stuff as well. So function bands and recording and
Brilliant.
everything just to keep you afloat, really.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Like most musicians,
Yeah, exactly.
versatile, broad sort of career, portfolio career.
Absolutely.
It's like most musicians, and that's interesting. So you've been using hearing protection and in-ear monitors.
Yeah, I have.
So obviously you're going to be in different situations. It could be a small club, cabaret thing, corporate entertainment, through to, being on stage. Just talk a little bit about hearing protection, of just the sort of filter type hearing protection that you use.
At the moment, I use the ACSs, the ones that have been specifically made for singers as well, which give you a bit more top end.
Okay.
And actually, they really have helped quite a bit, because I always find whenever I put hearing protection in when I'm singing, I feel very detached from the band, and it's really hard to kind of get that vibe. And occasionally, I have to slip it out a little bit just to kind of get a bit more vibe, and especially if the monitoring is really, really bad. But generally, it really, really helps. And I especially really enjoy it for gigs. I wear them all the time for gigs. I never go to a gig now without wearing my ACSs.
Great.
Yeah.
Because that's the occlusion effect that we were talking about before. That's obviously like sticking fingers in your ears. Singers have a real problem with that. So obviously not having so much attenuation, or the ones that you've got, the Pro Series, having professional hearing protection is important. You don't get that with the cheap stuff, do you? Really?
No, not at all. You really don't. And I lost a pair about a year ago, and immediately it didn't even cross my mind that I wasn't going to pay out for another one. I immediately just booked another appointment and got another pair, because they just are worth it. They really are worth it.
Brilliant. So in-ear monitors then, when did you start using in-ear monitors?
I started about 4 years ago.
Okay. And did you find, because we talked a little bit about going from, because people that haven't used in-ear monitors before, it can be a bit of a weird thing, especially for singers.
Oh God, my first ever experience was, I thought it was going to be horrendous. It was on the way I was going to Paris to do my first TV show with Mika, and the first time I had to use my in-ear monitors and everything, and I had no idea what to ask for. I didn't know, and I think the best thing for me was that I just went to the monitor guy and just said, look, I've never used these before. You just need to help me out, because I don't know what I'm asking for, basically. And I was freaking out a bit, but actually it was fine. It was, the moment I just put my hands up and went, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help? Immediately they were really helpful, and it was fine. And I just, and also watching other people, there's another guy who's worked for a very long time, and he was like, oh, can I have the drums on the left and the guitar on the right? And I was like, what? You can do that? It's amazing. You can really balance it out and stuff. And I suppose in time you really get to understand those things when you're on stage, and you know what you like as well.
So we mentioned that actually as well. I sort of stressed how important it is to work with your sound engineer or your monitor mix guy or girl, person. Is that is really important about getting a decent monitor mix. But these people are they're pretty helpful, but you just need to ask.
Absolutely.
I know people that ask for certain frequencies to be dropped out and stuff like that. They're pretty accommodating. But it is important to have that relationship with your monitor mix engineer as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We always say, look after the caterer, front of house, and monitor mix on tour.
Absolutely. Brilliant. So you find it brilliant. You never go back. Really?
No, I do, because I have to. Sometimes when I'm working within certain bands, I have to go wedges, and that's just the way it is. But now I've bought my own pack as well, because when you're on tour, you just give it to you. But for my everyday work stuff with my function bands and also with Censor as well, we go to various kind of smaller venues when we tour, and I take my pack with me, and I prefer it. I do prefer it.
Brilliant. So what if there was a set of, obviously with in-ear monitors you're relying on the feed that's coming to the earphones from the desk or whatever through your belt pack. What about if you had a set of in-ear monitors that actually had small microphones in them that you then could actually hear the sound around you, your environment, that you could then mix that in with your monitor mix.
Yeah, I mean, that would be amazing if that was possible, because the one thing I find with the in-ears that I have if I'm doing big stages, it's fine because you've got ambient mics, and generally the monitor guy will send you a lovely mix in, and you know exactly what you want, and it's fine. But when you're doing function bands and the smaller kind of theatre tours, it's really hard to get a mix that you like.
Right.
And also I find that the sound really kind of disappears, and I find I'm very isolated from the band when I'm singing. So it would be amazing to get a microphone attached as well, so that you could kind of get the ambient mic in. I think it would feel much more like a live sound, because I've always been playing in kind of heavier bands and rock bands and big live bands. So to have that kind of inclusiveness would be incredible.
Brilliant. Well, that's something that ACS are working on at the moment. We've just launched them. Guy Garvey's been experimenting with them with Elbow, plus Jules Holland's band and a few other guys. So they're ready to launch. And they actually have little microphones in them that you can mix. And what we're going to do is actually a competition for iSing magazine subscribers to win the opportunity to win a set of they're called the Live series. So that I think it's going to change things. You know, just talking to you, it's going to change things. You know, incredibly. I think, especially with singers. Yeah. Because that is more important to actually hear yourself. I tried a set out, and you could talk, you could have music going on in the background, which was obviously be your monitor mix, but then you were talking, and it was just like you had nothing in your ears. It was incredible. I'm quite excited about it. I just can't share it.
Yeah, it's great. Well,
Brilliant.
it means that you love your product, so
Brilliant.
I'd be excited to try some out.
And I think we're going to use you. Absolutely. I'm going to use you as a guinea pig. We're going to show our viewers how we do a fitting to take an ear impression. So we'll get on with that now. Yeah, cool.
So with the new system, is it all inclusive in one pack then? Or?
No, the live system at the moment is a separate pack, like the wireless pack you get from Sennheiser or Shure or whatever. So at the moment, obviously the technology is within that pack. For adjusting the mix, and obviously there are plans to actually have presets there as well, so you could have certain presets for the little microphones in your ears. Obviously in the future, you know, we just spoke about it just then, that there could be opportunities for that software to be remote, so the monitor engineer could, as you say, when they change the program on the digital board, just press a button, it changes all the settings for the in-ears as well. So loads of opportunities there. You did mention as well about obviously more so with female vocalists or artists, depending on what you're wearing on stage, is that unfortunately you're going to have two belt packs, which is a bit clunky, really. But I think we should challenge the industry, and I know ACS are always open to ideas of trying to make the technology smaller, so that it just could be a receiver, but everything's in a 19-inch rack unit on the side of the stage. That would be brilliant. So you wouldn't be. I mean, it's surprising that with wireless technology in the 21st century, all the things that we do, and yet it still seems, we still haven't quite got it right with XLR leads and wireless technology is not quite there. But it must be there. I mean, even think with a radio mic, okay, you've still got the mic and the diaphragm and batteries in there, but the technology for it is fairly small. And covert...
and light as well.
And covert in-ear stuff that we do stuff for the military as well. There is technology there.
Come on, let's get SAS stuff on stage.
That'd be mad. So wireless, So I mean, I think the technology's there. It's just having it in an economic way of reproducing it, mass producing it for the pro audio sector.
Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing, because with the Mika thing, there's many times that I've had to wear a corset with the dress, and sometimes I'm literally in a pair of pants and a corset, and I'm like,
what do you do?
And I've got one pack already stuffed in my bra, and then you've got another one, and if you're moving a lot, it can actually probably be a bit of a problem. I mean, even Mika is not just for female artists. I know he, a lot of the time he'd put it in his back pocket and it'd fly out, when he's leaping across stage and stuff. So I don't know whether there's just an easier way to make a proper belt pack that goes with it. I mean, I make mine already, and it's just a Velcro thing that I attach on, and I know a lot of other artists do it. I know Skin, for example, she has her costumes made with the belt pack already made in her costume. You know, so obviously as artists we are all thinking of it and thinking we're including the monitoring system into our gig already, but it would be cool to kind of work with the company to kind of make it even more inclusive for singers, to make it easier so that they don't fly off and, you know, you don't end up damaging your ears or your pack, you know, because they do fly out a lot.
No, let's challenge the industry. We're doing some more work with Sennheiser. I think it might be, you know, a good opportunity to put these things to the R&D guys and just saying, you know, it could, like you say, it could actually be built into the technology is there to make it part of the costume or what you're wearing.